I know it's a little late, but let's just do one Mishnah. We're not going to be doing it for a while. So here we go. Yeah. Megila, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Zayin. A little bit of a difficult, Mishnah, but let's get through it. So we're talking about the en bens. There's no difference between this and that except for this. So now the Mishnah continues on this vein with the law of a zav. A zav is for a lady, let's say, that blood just comes out at the time where it's not supposed to come out. Or for a man, it's sperm that comes out when it's not supposed to come out. So if it happens once, it could kind of be like a mikre. But if it happens twice or three times, then the person's tameh. And there's a difference between 2 and 3 times. So the Mishnah says, En ben zav haro'eh shte re'iyot lero'eh shalosh ela korban. The difference between a zav that happens to him twice or happens to him 3 times, the only difference is korban. Meaning after 2 times, then he is tameh and he can make other things tameh. And also after the zav kind of thing finishes, then he, for 7 days, he has to make sure that he has to see if nothing accidentally came out. And therefore, he needs those 7 days as well, and needs to go to the mikveh. So that happens if it happens 2 times or it happens 3 times. And again, for a male, it's happening where it's accidental, where there's no erection or things like that. It just kind of comes out. So that's the difference between 2 and 3. The only difference is if it happened 3 times, then it's korban. Korban is necessary. The er ben metzora musgar le metzora muchlat. The ela priya uprima. Now we're talking about a metzora. A metzora is a person that spoke lashon hara, and now he has the skin issue. Now there's a difference like this. When the guy has the skin issue, the next step is he has to go to the Kohen and see if it's tameh. He shows it to the Kohen. Now the Kohen locks them up for 7 days. He says, okay, you're 7 days, you're going to come back and show me if it indeed grew or not. Now that 7 days, there is a level of tumah at that point, but he's still in the kind of quarantine. And then there's the person that when he comes back to the Kohen says, yo, sorry, you are metzora. And that's called muchlat. He's metzora until it gets healed. And it could be years until it gets healed. So what's the difference between ben metzora musgar, the metzora that's closed, meaning 7 days, quarantine, or the metzora that's muchlat, that he's for sure a metzora? What's the difference? The only difference is priya uprima. The only difference is the ripping of the clothes and the uncovering of the head, which is, when a person is 7 days, he is tameh. So he's tameh, he has to be out of the camp as well. And when he comes back, he needs to go to the mikveh. We're going to talk about that, the last part of the Mishnah. So he is tameh still for those 7 days, and he has to be out of the camp. It's just that after 7 days, he comes back to see if it shrunk, then he's tahor. If it didn't shrink, or if it got bigger, he's tameh. And the difference between the muchlat, once he's deemed a full metzora, they rip his clothes, take off his head covering, and that's how he stays outside of the camp. And he's called tameh yikra. He's called tameh based on what he did, and basically he's got to do real teshuvah until the tzara goes away. And the last part of the Mishnah on the metzora, en ben tahor mitoch hesger le tahor mitoch echlet el tiklachat v'tziporim. So now let's say after these 7 days he comes back, metzora, and he's tahor, he's good. And now let's say this guy after a month or 3 months, he comes back to the Kohen, he says, I want to let you know, my mitzarat is gone. So what's the difference in the process of tahara? So they have to go to the mikveh, and they have to bring certain korbanot, but the difference is that the one that was muchlat, the one that he was for sure 100%, he was the metzora, he has to shave, that's what the Torah says, he has to shave all of his hair of his body. That's that one, not the one that was just 7 days. And also the 2 birds, they has to bring that part of the korban, the 2 birds, that's only for the one that was muchlat, the one that was really the metzora, not the one that was tameh for just 7 days. That's Mishnah Aleph, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Zayin. Continue when we get back. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Chananya ben Akasham Ratzah Kadosh Baruch Hu lezakot et Yisrael lefi chachibah adam Torah שנאמר, אדוני חפץ למען צדקו יגדיל תורה ויאדיר. אמן.